Story name: The House That Whispers. It began with an address: 43 Hollow Creek Road, a quiet Victorian house on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon. To most, it looked like any other old house: white wood, a slanted roof, ivy crawling up the sides. But to Emily Carter, a real estate photographer, it was the house that changed her life forever. Emily had been hired to photograph the property for an upcoming sale. The owner, an elderly woman named Mrs. Whitmore, had recently passed away, and the house had been empty for almost 6 months. It was a gray October afternoon when Emily arrived. The wind was sharp, carrying the scent of rain. She unlocked the rusted gate, pushed it open, and walked up the stone path. The moment she stepped onto the porch, the wind stopped. The world became silent, unnaturally silent. Inside, the air smelled faintly of lavender and decay. Dust covered everything: furniture, portraits, the grand piano in the corner. The old clock on the wall ticked, even though its hands never moved. Emily set up her camera. Click, flash. She walked room to room: kitchen, hallway, bedrooms. In the upstairs corridor, she noticed something strange: a door that wasn't on the blueprint. It was narrow and old, with peeling blue paint and a lock that looked recently replaced. She tried the knob. Locked. Shrugging, she continued her work. But when she reviewed the photos later that night, her hands began to shake. In every picture, even the ones of empty hallways, there was a faint blur, a shape, a person. In the mirror above the fireplace stood the faint outline of a woman in a white dress, watching her. The next day, she returned, this time with her assistant, Jake. He was skeptical. Ghosts? Really, Em? But when they entered, he stopped laughing. Someone had cleaned the dining table. Fresh flowers sat in a vase. The air smelled like perfume. "Hello?" Emily called. No answer. They walked upstairs. The locked blue door was slightly open now, just enough to see darkness beyond. Jake reached out, pushed it open. A narrow staircase led down, not up. The smell hit them instantly: old, wet earth and rot. "Basement?" he whispered. They descended, the wooden steps creaking under their weight. At the bottom was a small stoned room. Candles lined the walls, all burned down to wax stubs. And in the middle, a mirror. Tall, old, cracked. It was the same mirror from the fireplace upstairs. "Jake," Emily's voice trembled. "That shouldn't be here." He walked closer. "It's just a mirror." But his reflection didn't move. Emily watched in horror as Jake's reflection turned its head slowly and smiled. Jake froze. "What the hell?" Before he could finish, the reflection reached out through the glass and grabbed him. He screamed, but the sound was muffled, like it was underwater. His body went rigid, and in an instant, he was gone. Emily fell to the ground, sobbing, staring at the glass. Inside the mirror, Jake stood, pounding on the other side, his mouth open in a silent scream. She ran, out the door, up the stairs, through the hall. But the layout had changed. Every hallway led back to the same blue door. "No, no, no," she cried. A whisper echoed behind her. It was a woman's voice, soft, gentle, close to her ear. "Don't leave. You took my picture." Emily turned and saw her. The woman from the reflection, wearing a white dress soaked in dust, eyes hollow, skin like cracked porcelain. Her lips barely moved. "You shouldn't have opened the door." The lights went out. When the realtor arrived 2 days later, the house was empty again. Emily's car was still outside. Her camera sat on the table, the screen still on, flashing low battery. There were 217 photos. In the last one, you could see Emily standing next to the mirror, smiling faintly. But her reflection wasn't smiling. It was waving. Now, every few months, someone new tries to sell 43 Hollow Creek Road. Each one disappears, and each time, the mirror in the basement grows a little clearer, as if the souls inside are pressing closer to the surface. At night, the neighbors swear they can hear whispers carried by the wind. Sometimes, if you stand close enough to the gate, you'll hear your own name, softly, as if the house has already chosen you.
If you survived this story, give it a like and subscribe to Voices of the Dead so you never miss the next haunting.